Welcome to this session. My name is Anirban Sarkar, Assistant Professor of JS College of Engineering, Kollani. Today we are going to be discuss about the materials engineering. So first of all, welcoming all of you to this session. This materials engineering under the autonomous structure we have in third semester in this course. The subject code is ME 304. First of all, we have to discuss what are the course objectives of this subject. The course objective of this subject is, first of all, understanding of the correlation between the internal structure of materials, their mechanical properties, and various methods to quantify their mechanical integrity and failure criteria. Number 2, to provide a detailed interpretation of equilibrium phase diagram. Number 3, learning about different phase and heat treatment method to tailor the properties of Fe3C alloy. What are the outcome? The outcome of this paper is, the course outcome of this paper is identify crystal structure for various materials and understand the defects in such structure. Second, analyze the effect of heat treatment of mechanical properties of a material. Number 3, understand how to tailor material property of ferrous and non-ferrous alloys. And number 4, learn about advanced material useful in modern industrial applications. Next, the course content of this paper, that is materials engineering, is number 1 module, that is we have crystal structure. In crystal structure we have to define unit cell, metallic crystal structure, imperfections in solids, point, line, interfacial and volume defects, dislocation strengthening mechanism and slip system, critically resolved shear stress. In second module we have mechanical properties measurement, that is tensile, compression and torsion test, Young modulus, relation between true and engineering stress strain curve, generalized Hooke's law, yielding and yield strength, ductility, resilience, toughness and elastic recovery, hardness, that is Rockwell, Brinell, Vickar, and their relation to strength. In number 3rd module we have metals and alloys. Alloys, substitutional and interstitial solid solution, phase diagram, interpretation of binary phase diagram and microstructure development, iron and iron carbide phase diagram, and microstructure analysis of ferrous materials, cast iron, steel, etc. we have. In number 4th module we have heat treatment. In heat treatment, heat treating of steel, annealing, tempering, normalizing and spheroidizing, isothermal transformation diagram of a Fe3C alloy and microstructure development, continuous cooling curve and interpretation of final microstructure and properties, Aus-tempering, Mar-tempering, case hardening, carbonizing, nitriding, cyaniding, carbonitriding, flame and induction hardening, vacuum and plasma hardening. In number 5th module, that is alloying of steel, in this chapter we have to study properties of stainless steel and tool steel, merging steel, cast iron, copper and copper alloy, brass, bronze and cupronickel, aluminum and aluminum copper magnesium alloy, nickel based superalloy and titanium alloy. In number 6th module, we have to study ceramics and advanced material. In this chapter, we have structure, properties and application of ceramics, composite types, types and properties of main composition, smart material, ferroelastic and piezoelectric material, nanomaterial, bimaterial and shape memory alloy. The recommended books for this paper is Material Science and Engineering by Callister and adapted by R. Balasubramaniam, that is Wiley India. In second book, that is William Smith, is very good one. And number 3, Material Science and Engineering by V. Raghavan. Number 4, S.K. Kankan and Amit Kankan. And Material Science and Process in Manufacturing, E.P. Digarmo. So these are all about the syllabus and the book recommended. So first of all, we will start the module 1, that is Introduction to Material and Introduction to Materials Engineering and Crystal Structure. So the historical perspective, first of all we have to understand the historical perspective. Materials are so important in the development of human civilization that the historian have identified early periods of civilization by the name of most significantly and used material. So in modern days we have that steel age, rather than we can call it is a composite age. So historian is identified the early period of human civilization, for an example, that is Stone Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, etc. That is today we are in composite age. So this is just an observation made to showcase the importance of materials and their impact in human civilization. It is obvious that the materials have affected and controlling a broad range of human activities through thousands of decades. From the historical point of view, it can be said that human civilization started with Stone Age, where people use only natural materials like stone, clay, skin of animal and wood for the purpose like to make weapons, instruments, shelter, etc. Thus, the sites of deposits for better quality stone became an early colonies of human civilization. However, the increasing need for better quality tools brought forth exploration that led to Bronze Age, followed by Iron Age, when people found copper and how to make it harder by alloying. The Bronze Age started about 3000 BC. The use of iron and steel, a stronger material that give advantage in wires, started about 1200 BC. Iron was abundant and thus availability is not limited to the affluents. This commonness of the materials affected every person in many aspects, gaining the name democratic material. The next big step in human civilization was discovery of cheap process to make steel around 1850 AD, which enables the railroad and the building of the modern infrastructure of the industrial world. One of the most significant features of the democratic material is that number of uses just exploded. Thus, there has been a need for human and material resources for centuries, which still going strong. It is being said and agreed that we are presently in space age, marked by many technologies development towards the development material, resulting in stronger and light material like composites, electronics material like semiconductor material for space voyages like high temperature ceramics, biomaterials, etc. So if we summarize the historical perspective of the material science, we may say that materials constitutes foundation of technology. The history of human civilization evolved from Stone Age to Bronze Age, the Iron Age, Steel Age, and to the Space Age. Each age is marked by the advent of certain materials. The Iron Age brought tools and utensils. The Steel Age brought railroad, instruments, and the industrial revolutions. The Space Age brought the materials for stronger and light structure, for example, the composite materials. The Electronics Age brought semiconductor and thus many varieties of electronics gadgets. So these are all the historical perspective of the materials engineering and material. Now in this figure we may see that what is the interrelation between the four components of material science. So in material science, it constitutes foundation of technology. It is not only necessary but a must to understand how materials behave like they do and why they differ in properties. This is only possible with the atomistic understanding allowed by quantum mechanics that first explained atoms and then solids starting in the 1930s. The combination of physics, chemistry, and the focus on the relationship between the properties of material and its microstructure is the domain of material science. The development of this science allowed designing material and provided a knowledge base for the engineering applications. Important components of the subjects material science are the structure, as we can see in this pyramid, the properties, the processing, and the performance. So in this schematic diagram, the interrelation between the four components is shown. Next, what are the importance of material science and engineering? What are the importance? Why we have to study the material science and engineering? That is, we know that all engineers need to know about the materials. Why? Because even most immaterials like softwares or the system engineering depends on the development of the new material, which in turn alter the economics. like software hardware trade-offs, increasing applications of system engineering, and are in materials manufacturing, that is industrial engineering, and complex environmental systems. Innovations in engineering often means the clever use of a new material for a specific application. For example, plastic containers in place of age-old metallic container. It is well-learned lesson that engineers' distress are frequently caused by the misuse of material. So it is vital that the professional engineer should know how to select material which best fit in the demand of the design economy and aesthetic demands, as well as demands in strength and durability. Beforehand, the designer must understand the properties of material and their limitations. Thus, it is very important that every engineer must study and understand the concept of material science and engineering. This enables the engineer the following points: to select a material for a given use based on consideration of cost and performance, to understand the limits of material and the change of their properties with use, to be able to create a new material that will have some desirable properties, and last of all we can say to be able to use the material for different applications. So it is quite understand that why we need to know, or every engineers, whether their domain is software or hardware development, they must know the importance of material science, because otherwise the newly developed material we invent, this engineering will not exist. Now the next is classifications of material. So we will start the classification of materials. Different classifications are there. So classifications, these are all divided based on many criteria. For example, crystal structure, that is arrangement of atom and bonds between them, or properties or use, metals, ceramics, polymers, composites, semiconductors and biomaterials constitutes the main class of present engineering materials. The most important classifications of the materials, that is metals. These materials are characteristics by high thermal and electrical conductivity, strong yet deformable under applied mechanical loads, opaque to light, that is shiny if polished. These characteristics are due to valency electrons that are detected from atoms and spread in an electron sea that glues the ions together. That is, atoms are bound together by metallic bonds and weaker van der Waals forces. Pure metals are used in alloy form, that is, metal mixes with another metal to improve the desired qualities. For example, aluminum, steel, brass, gold. Next, very important materials from the classification point of view, that is ceramics. These are inorganic compound and usually made either of oxides, carbides, nitrides or silicates of metals. Ceramics are typically partly crystalline and partly amorphous. Atoms in ceramic material behave most likely either positive or negative ion and are bound by very strong Coulomb force between them. These materials are characteristic by very high strength under compression, low ductility, usually insulators to heat and electricity. For example, glass, porcelain and many other minerals. Next important classifications of the material is that is called polymer. Polymers in the form of thermoplastic, that is nylon, polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, rubber, etc., consist of molecules that have covalent bonding within each molecule and van der Waals forces between them. Polymers in the form of thermosets, that is epoxy, phenolics, etc., consist of a network of covalent bond. They are based on hydrogen, carbon and other non-metallic elements. Polymers are amorphous except for a minority of thermoplastics. Due to kind of bonding, polymers are typically electrical and thermal insulators. However, conducting polymers can be obtained by doping, and conducting polymer matrix composites can be obtained by the use of conducting fillers. They decompose at moderate temperature, that is in between 100 to 400 degrees centigrade, and are lightweight. Other properties vary greatly in case of polymer. Next, another important classification of material is that is composite material. Composite materials are multiphase materials obtained by artificial combination of different materials to attain properties that individual components cannot attain. An example is a lightweight baked disc obtained by embedding silicon carbide particle in aluminum alloy matrix. Another example is reinforced cement concrete, a structural composite obtained by combining cement, that is the matrix, the cement, that is here it is binder, obtained by a reaction known as hydration between cement and water. Sand, fine aggregates, gravels, coarse aggregates and thick sheet fiber. However, these are some natural composites available in nature, for example wood. In general, composites are classified according to matrix materials. The main classes of composites are metal matrix, polymer matrix and ceramic matrix. Next, another materials very important that is nowadays, that is semiconductors. All the electronics things and etc., they are based on generally semiconductors. These are semiconductors are covalent in nature. Their atomic structure is characterized by the highest occupied energy band, that is the valency band, where the valency electron resides ingrately. Full search of that energy gap between the top of the valence band and the bottom of the empty energy band, that is the conduction band, is small enough for some fraction of the valence electron to be excited from the valence band to the conducting band by thermal, optical or other forms of energy. Their electrical properties depends extremely strongly on minute properties of contaminants. They are usually doped in order to enhance electrical conductivity. They are used in the form of single crystal without dislocations because grain boundaries and dislocations would degrade electrical behavior. They are opaque to visible light but transparent to the infrared. Example: silicon, germanium, gallium arsenide, etc. Another important material in modern engineering development, that is called biomaterials. Biomaterials, these are the type of materials that can be used for replacement of damaged or diseased human body parts. Primarily, requirement of this material is that they must be biocompatible with body tissues and must not provide toxic substances. Other important material factors are ability to support force, low friction, wear, density, and cost reproducibility. Typical application involves heart valves, hip joints, dental implants, intracoronary lens. Examples of this material, that is stainless steel, CO, that is cobalt 28 chromium 6 molybdenum, titanium, aluminium, vanadium, ultra high molecular weight, polyethylene, high purity dense aluminum oxide, etc. So these are all the main classifications of the material. Apart from these, many other materials are there nowadays that scientists and engineers are trying to develop for easy to engineering various purposes and to replace or to modify some existing material so as to develop a strong, durable and a less cost effectively things that would help the engineering and today's modern world. So these are the classifications of the material. Next, some advanced material and future materials and modern materials are needs that to some extent that scientists have achieved to get this type of material in advanced type of material which is helpful in various aerospace industries and in biomedical industries also, etc., and to develop certain kinds of things in advanced material that are useful to be in future generation machineries, etc. In advanced material, these materials are high-tech devices. Those operate based on relatively intricate and sophisticated principle. So as we know that is semiconductor is an basic electronics material that is helpful in our electronics development, or electronics engineering development. Some other advanced materials are there that is useful for computer, aerospace craft and electronic gadgets, etc. Apart from that, semiconductor material. So these are comes under the advanced material. These materials are either traditional materials with enhanced property or newly developed material with high performance capabilities. Hence, these are relatively expensive. Typical applications, that is integrated circuit, lasers, LCDs, fiber optics, thermal protection for space shuttles, etc. Examples: metallic foams, intermetallic compounds, multi-component alloys, magnetic alloy, special ceramics and high temperature materials, etc. Next, future material. So a group of new and state-of-art material now being developed and expected to have significant influence on present day's technologies, especially in the field of medicine, manufacturing and defense. Smart and intelligent material system consists some type of sensors that detect an input and an actuator that performs responsive and adaptive function. Actuators may be called upon to change shape, position and natural frequency mechanical characteristic in response to changes in temperature, electrical magnetic field, moisture, pH, etc. 4 types of materials used as actuators, that is shape memory alloy, piezoelectric ceramics, magnetostrictive material, electromagnetic rheological fluids, materials, devices used as sensor, that are optical fibers, piezoelectric material, micro electromechanical system, MEMS, etc. The typical applications of this kind of materials are by incorporating sensors, actuators and chip processors into systems. Researchers are enabled to stimulate biological human-like behavior. Fibers for bridge, buildings and wood utility poles. They also help in fast-moving and accurate robot parts. High-speed helicopter rotor blades, actuator that controls chatter in precision machine tools. Small microelectronic circuit in machine ranging from computers to photolithography prints, health monitoring detecting the success or failure of a product. Next, that is modern material needs. So in advancement of the technologies, what are the demands of the industry and that technology, what are the future materials would likely to be, and what are the development through which the development is going to be, that are we can say that though there has been tremendous progress over the decades in the field of material science and engineering, innovative of new technologies and need for better performance of existing technologies demand much more from the materials field. Moreover, it is evident that new materials technologies are needed to be environment friendly. Some typical needs such as modern materials needs are listed in the followings: that engine efficiency increases at high temperature, so we require high temperature structural material. Use of nuclear energy requires solving problem with residues. So we have to develop in such material that the problem of residues will overcome. or advances in nuclear waste processing, how we can process the nuclear waste so that the damages will be minimized. Hypersonic flight requirement material that should be light, strong and resist high temperature. So hypersonic flights, missile, etc. are required for the modern development in defense sector and as well as for the human civilization, for better movement or to easy movement from one place to another place. These materials are required and we have to keep in mind that should be light, strong and resist high temperature. Optical communications require optical fibers that absorb light negligibly. So in case of optical communications, that is optical fiber, if it is absorb light, so that we have some bad effect. So we have to modern development requires that optical fibers that will absorb the light negligibly. For civil construction, material for unbreakable windows. So many parts at the high-rise building, etc., due to the high temperature and the heat, that is due to the heating of difference between cooling zone, etc., in day and night, and for summer and winter season, the materials are nowadays that we are using after some days that are breakable. So we need to replace frequently, we need to replace that part. So for that construction purpose, we need to an unbreakable window at least for a lifetime. So the development of this kind of modern material is needed. And last of all, we may say that materials are strong like metals and resist corrosion like plastics. So this is very interesting, that whether metals generally, these are strong in tensile strength, etc., we may use a structural material, but in environmentally these are all corroded after some time. And plastics, whether we have employed for a structural material, that is very good resistance to corrosion, but that will not give enough strength like metals. So for structural material, whether to make a bridge, building structure or for machine tool structure, etc., we need to develop the materials which is strong enough just like metals and as well as the corrosions resistance like plastics. So these are all the modern materials, and these are all the thing is that these are all the introduction to materials engineering and the classifications of different materials. So today we will conclude this session, and the next stage we will go to the atomic structure and etc. for the next session. So thank you for joining this session. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.